Hey everybody, Jeff here from HigherTrustMarketing.com. First of all, I want to wish you a very happy new year. 2019 is going to be amazing. I know it's going to be amazing for you if you want it to be. If you guys work hard enough, if you want it bad enough, if you understand your why. And maybe we'll go into that in a future Facebook webcast. But today, what I wanted to focus on was 3 things that you need to avoid at all costs. To make your life better, to make it happier, to make yourself, to live up to your potential, to show the world what you're really capable of, and just to get more results, right? Because if we're not working in congruity, if there's things that are holding us back, then we can't be as creative, we can't be as productive, we can't be as charismatic, we can't, we're not going to get people to follow us if we can, and we're just not going to be as happy ourselves with how we're making progress. I think a lot of people get stuck in that and they start just settling for where they are, and that's never been me. Anyone who knows me understands that I'm constantly going through, self-assessment, self-awareness, constantly trying to understand how to get into a better place so that I can do more for more people. And that starts with yourself, and then it emanates outward. So 3 things that I want to talk about today to avoid if you want to improve your results this year. Number 1 is to make sure that you're living your purpose or your vision. And here's where a lot of people go wrong. We look to other people to be inspired. We look to other people for inspiration. We look to YouTube videos. We read books. We look to other trainers. We look to people who are above us, and we inevitably find some people that we want to follow. We find people that we want to emulate, and that's great. To be inspired by somebody, to be, to sort of get your juices flowing based on what you see from other people. That's awesome. But what we tend to do then is we go one step too far, and that is we embrace whatever vision they have or whatever purpose they have. And see, there's a problem with that because at the end of the day, they've found what works for them. And the reason that they're at the level that they're at is because they're passionate about what they do. They found their thing, and they know why they're doing it. And for some people that comes right away. For other people, it comes in midlife. For other people, they haven't even found that, until they hit 50 or 60 years old. But chances are, if you're watching someone, if you're inspired by someone, if you're emulating someone, if you like what someone else is putting out there, chances are it's because they have their act together. They have their shit together. And that's great, but it just means you need to be inspired by them to go and find your own thing, to go and find your purpose, to go and find why you want to accomplish what you want to accomplish, to set your goals according to what you want to achieve, to set your short-term goals in terms of what type of business you want to build, in terms of what kind of training you want and skill improvement you want to invest in, what types of mentors and coaches you want to follow, what things you want to learn, what kind of content and what kind of personality and what kind of value you bring to the marketplace. That all needs to come from you. Now, you can be inspired by other people, but ultimately it's got to come back to you. Take that inspiration and become self-aware, figure out what it is for you that's going to allow you to get to their level and be a peer. And I guarantee you it's not going to be copying what they do, copying the market, copying their business type. I get a lot of people that ask me, what kind of business works? What kind of niches work? What kind of products sell? Well, that's crazy, right? There's millions and millions and hundreds of thousands of different products, and there's tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of different niches, and so what you have to find is what works for you. What is it you ultimately want to deliver to the market, and why, right? And what do you want to achieve by doing that? So maybe it's that you want to build something that is self-perpetuating. It's going to continue to help people over and over again. You want to scale out to something really big so you can help a lot of people. And sure, you want to get paid for it. And sure, you need to, comes back to money in the end because you need to build the business. You need that to scale the business. But ultimately, you got to understand your why and why you want to do something and how you want to bring it out, what role you want to play, over the long term in that business. Some people are cut out to run a company. Some people are cut out, maybe just to do the selling and the marketing. And so they have to bring in key pieces. You can still run your company, but you've got to be self-aware enough to know that you're not CEO. You're not the person who's going to go out and maybe raise money, or you're not the person that's going to build the back end of the business to be able to scale to where you need it. Alternative, you could be more of an introvert and somebody who is great with the strategy and mapping it out and building the back end systems, but you're not the front guy to go out and sell it and market it. So you partner with somebody, or you hire somebody, and that can be somebody temporary up front, and then it goes to permanent. But just understand, the totality of what kind of vision you want to bring to the market and why that is, and what role you want to play within that. Why do you want to do that? Well, look, if you're in a job today where you're working for someone else, or if you're stuck in a family business where you've had to take over a business, or you've built a business based on the mistake that I mentioned earlier, which is you've taken your inspiration one level too far and you've started something that somebody else was successful with. Now you find yourself, I'm not so crazy about this. When I get my hands into it and figure out this is hard work, it's real stuff, and I'm not really passionate about the idea. Well, if you're following someone else's dream, you've done some really big things wrong. Number one, you've given up control, right? You've given up control by either working for someone else or following someone else's vision that ultimately is not going to lead you to where you want to be, right? Which is own something bigger, own something that is yours, own something that maybe is transferable to your family or is sellable where you can cash out eventually. And so that's one thing. Number two, you give up getting your true potential amount of energy and creativity, which only happens if you're inspired every day, if you're passionate, if you know why you're going and doing the things that you need to do every day. You're only going to bring that kind of potential out of you if you can identify the right vehicle and identify the right target, right? And number three, I think maybe most important, is that you give up showing the world your true potential. There's so many people I know that are living at half to a quarter of their true potential. They don't even see it, but I see it, because we get engaged in a conversation where that true spirit, that true passion comes out for 15 minutes, but then they go back and they slave away at something that they hate, and it's buried deep inside and probably won't come out until the next time we talk, or it could be years, decades. And I know a lot of people that are living a life like that, and it's just, to me, it's horrible, right, to have to live that way. So the second thing is steer yourself away from toxic people. And that is, make sure you understand the people that surround you, and make sure you understand the people that surround you that you have to stay connected to, because maybe it's family, you have an obligation, you have to help them, it's somebody in a lot of trouble. That's fine. But understand at the same time that you've got to start to build other networks. You've got to be inspired. You've got to aspire to connect with those people above you, those people that have this similar vision to you, people that even achieved things that you haven't achieved. There's nothing wrong with reaching out to those people and doing things for them, complimenting them, asking them questions, being persistent in a positive and constructive way. And I guarantee you, anyone who sees that in you, sees that you're action-oriented, sees that you're positive, sees that you're constructive, sees that you may want to help them, and that you want to work together, those people will have the time of day for you. No matter how busy they are, they will find a way. It may take a while, because these people are busy. When people reach out to me, there's that category of people I write off right away, because they're either negative, they're haters, they're people that are skeptical, that they criticize everything about themselves, let alone the help that I'm going to give them. So I'm not going to waste my time, right? And then there's the other category, which are the positive people, the constructive people, and that's it's a fairly long list too. And what makes people stand out from there is, okay, are they willing to take action? Are they proving to me that they're actually taking action on something I said, or something that someone else has said? That really stands out to me, because really that thins the list out pretty quick, right? Because there might be 1,000 people requesting information on, that are positive and want something, but there's really only 10 to maybe 30 or 40 people at very best over a period of time that I know are willing to really do what it takes and take action and put their money where their mouth is in terms of taking action on things. And I've got all day for those people, right? But it becomes a very thin list if you see it. So become action oriented, aspire to meet these people. Don't be afraid of them, but just approach them in the right way, right? Be constructive, be positive, show them that you're doing things, show them that you're making progress. Show them that you're even willing to do something for them if it takes that to get their attention, right? And I guarantee you, just 5 minutes, 10 minutes with these people can be worth days and days and days with someone else who's not positive, not constructive, not above you. These people can help you so much, and you need to be reaching out to them. So don't stick around toxic people. Start to shift your time, even if you can't, just eliminate everyone from your life. Start to eliminate people you can that you know are negative. The people that you can't, just limit the time that you spend with them and start to build out your network of positive people. And you will gain confidence over time, and you will gain a ton of benefit from doing that, both personally, professionally, and you will get results quicker because you've done that. So the third thing to avoid this year, and start avoiding it right away, is surface level knowledge. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, look, if you enter a space, maybe this is the best analogy. Go up to any discussion forum, or even in the people you talk to and you network with. You know those kind of people that just talk a big game, right? They know everything about everything. They've got an opinion on everything. The world doesn't need more of those people. What the world needs is the 1% of the people who's willing to take action, test something, and tell people what they found, right? So avoid surface level knowledge. You can start with it, so it's great if you learn something from someone, if you hear something from someone, if you have an opinion, you have an idea, you have a thesis, but take it the next step. Before you start going out and blabbing it and start sharing it with your community in the form of content or in the form of products or in the form of advice or coaching, go do something with it first, one step at least beyond what everyone else is willing to do. That's put it into action. Try it, test it, take action. Become a practitioner instead of just a theorist or a talker or even just a learner. Right? It's great to learn, great to study, great to find things out, great to have ideas, great to have opinions, but nothing will get you ahead further than taking that extra step and putting it into practice. And what happens is you separate yourself from the 90% of the people and you put yourself into the top 10%, right? That those 90% of the people look up to and are willing to pay for advice because you're willing to go out and do a little bit more, take action, put things into practice, and those other 90% of the people, they'll end up coming to you and paying you for that information. And a lot of people ask me, what kind of products do I create? Because that's the business I've been in for over a decade now, is creating digital products. It's coaching programs, ebooks, and courses online, all that sort of thing. And people always ask me, well, don't a lot of people already do that? Isn't there already a lot of people that, isn't the market saturated? Isn't there so much material? Well, the fact is it's not. And that's for this very reason, that 90 to 95% of the people aren't willing to practice something. They would rather pay thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn from someone who is willing to take the risk, who is willing to take that extra step, who is willing to put more work in, who is willing to put their ass on the line, their ego on the line, and potentially risk failure. And has maybe even gone through 5 or 6 failures, but on the 6th time they succeed, and now they know something that they don't. And so then you can charge for that, right? And you can charge also to tell people what didn't work. So when people ask me what kind of product do I create, well, all I tell them is whatever field it is you're in, whether it's health and wellness, or whether it's the make money niche, or whether it's in relationships or parenting, or it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the niche, right? Finance. It's go try things and then tell people what worked and what didn't work. It's as simple as that, right? Find out what questions people have and then go out and try things and then tell them what worked and then tell them what didn't work and why. That's all you need to do to be successful in this industry. That's why it's such a great industry. And human dynamics are such that people will always be the same. There's going to be the vast majority of people are not willing to take that risk. They're not willing to take the time to be able to go and figure it out for themselves, so they will pay people. And that's why you'll always be in business. If you know, that's why I always tell people, it doesn't matter what business you're in, if you're in e-commerce, you're selling physical stuff, you've got a storefront, you're a blogger, you're a podcaster, email marketer, whatever it is, affiliate marketer, it's go through the trouble of creating your own product, because people will always be there to pay for it. And as long as you know what they're looking for and you're willing to take that one extra step and test things and then document them, you're going to be in business. You'll never suffer for money again. You'll never suffer for things to sell again. You'll never suffer for growing and scaling your business. Simple as that. Okay, so I hope that was useful. I know it was a little bit longer today. Really love to hear from you guys if you found this valuable. Which one of these things to avoid are you going to focus on this year? That's my question for you, is which one of these things do you feel maybe would benefit you most in your life to try and make a change for this year? Leave us a comment and forward this on to your followers, because I think this is useful for anyone, that's trying to improve themselves, their financial situation, their health and wellness, their emotional health as they go into this year. These are things that they need to be able to, the things that they should really avoid, and changes they can make in their life to get immediate results. Okay, so share it with all your followers. I know they'll appreciate it. Nothing but content here, and we'll be back at you very, very soon. I hope you guys have an awesome day.